Hello, everybody. So, hi. I'm going to give people a minute to jump on and join me. It's a lovely, sunny day here in Colorado, day after the Thanksgiving holiday. And I just returned on Wednesday night from a 3-week tour in Europe and from the Maestro class, the Access Consciousness Maestro class, which was just phenomenal and really exploded my world into a million wonderful pieces. So I've been doing this. Some people are jumping on. Hi, everybody. So since the beginning of October, I've been doing a lot of stuff around money. We did the Access How to Become Money Workbook for the month of October. And then with some ice happening here. Hi, Michael. My son's just getting ready to go to school. And then in this month of November, we've been going through the Advanced How to Become Money Workbook, also an Access Consciousness book. And it's been amazing, like really just exploring the topic of money, the topic of wealth and receiving. And one of the things that I love about Access Consciousness is it really allows you to explore the creation of money and wealth from a completely different perspective. So it's not about like the answers of this reality. This is how you work. This is what you do. You need to make a plan, follow the plan, and you'll get what you want. Those are the lies of this reality when it comes to creation and business and money, especially for seekers of the world, humanoids, whatever you want to call yourself. And when you, bye, sweetie, love you. I know for me, like, I remember way back when I used to be like, I had this business coach, and this was a long time ago. This was like probably 20 years ago. And she was like, this is what you need to do. And it was just like all this, like, I'd go home, I'd have my homework, I'd do it. And business and money are not the same thing. Like they're really two separate conversations in a way, but they have a lot of overlap, of course, because if you're doing business, if your business isn't generating money, that's something you want to be looking at. But I remember when I would be like, please, universe, can I please make $3,000 a month? And that was the only, like, I knew there was a different way that I could be creating money. I didn't really know how. And I knew that there had to be something that was easier than what everybody was saying, and I read a lot of books and, did all this stuff. And I was really interested in creating money from a different point of view, not from, no, I'm going to put on my suit and go in a high rise and work in my butt off and, do that whole corporate America thing. And so all I knew at the time was, dear universe, please, universe, like, bring me the money, and somehow it kind of worked. And, and then when I found the tools of Access Consciousness, I really started to dive into, okay, there's so much more available here. And into this conversation that I've really been in with myself for the past 12 years of that money comes when you be more and when you receive more. And I've seen that time and time again in my own life. Like I expand into being something more, being something greater, being something different, being more of me, the actual me, not the me that I think that I am. And my money flows will increase and just expand in a really easeful way. And recently I heard my dear friend, Dr. Dane here, who's one of the co-creators of Access Consciousness, say, that he's never seen humanoids. Let's just say, if you don't know that term, like seekers of the world, people who are different, who are looking for a different way of being, who know a different way of being, whether they're willing to be it or not, but like who don't want to do things according to, let's just call it this reality. And he said, I've never seen humanoids change. Like the only way that I've ever seen humanoids change their money situation is from miracles, is with miraculousness, like being miraculous and being magic. And I was like, that's so true for me. Like that really reads for me, that there's never been a thing where I was like, I got the marketing formula right, and therefore, my money flows increased, or I did what I was supposed to do and my money flows, the expected money flows showed up. It's never been that for me. And it has been a lot of like, all of a sudden I stumble upon some new space of being from, maybe a class that I've taken, or just questions that I've been asking, like using the tools of Access Consciousness, which are just so pragmatic and weird and wacky and wonderful and energetic. And that's why they're so pragmatic, is because they're energetic and everything is energy. And, like asking for something for a while and then stumbling upon this new space. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's more money. That's kind of fun, but it always comes with this lightness and like not significance. And, so I titled this X-Men and Money. Part of that is I'm doing a 3-part call starting on Thursday on that very topic of X-Men and money. And I wanted to give a little kind of taster of what that is, because a lot has been showing up around this topic for me. And so X-Men they are the seekers of the world. Like they're people who function really differently. You can't, if you're an X-Men, like you can't do this reality. It doesn't work, and the reason that you can't do it is because you be something greater and you know something greater. And that's a good thing. That's a really powerful thing. That there are just things that you can't, they don't make sense to you. The rules and regulations of this reality, basically how money is done, how business and creation are done, they don't make sense to X-Men. That's because X-Men are part of the evolution of the species to something different. And like how X-Men function when they're being themselves and they're being the greatness of themselves, they function from awareness. And this spherical awareness of possibilities and not a lot of linearity, and time isn't a factor. Like past, present, and future don't really exist in the worlds of X-Men. It's more like everything's kind of happening now, and you can grab information from lots of different places. Catherine says sometimes it's not clear how to know what is me and when I'm coping others. Yeah. And that's actually an X-Men capacity. And one of the things about X-Men is we have these capacities that we have turned into the wrongness of us, and because they don't fit into the context of this reality. And it's amazing because X-Men have these incredible capacities, these incredible capabilities, this amazing awareness. They like, as an X-Men, when you are being you, which we can access more and more of that all the time, it's like you have access to sort of like the, kind of like the secrets of the universe in a way, like not the secrets, but just the way that creation actually works from an energetic standpoint. And everything is energy. Everything is energy. Like you kind of can't argue that, that's like physics is all about that, right? Like it's been proven everything is energy, right? And so, but what we do is we try to remove ourselves. Like if you function from this reality, like human reality, I will call it, which is sort of like the standard operating procedures of how things work. And if you look at money, it's like standard operating procedures with money. Okay, let's look at that. If you try to do that, it's like it's done from total separation from the energetics of everything, like the whole universe. We're part of the universe. Like we think somehow it's like there's Earth and all this stuff that we're doing, and that's very real. And then there's like these planets out there that are like, whatever, no, we're part of the universe, we are all the, gases and the atoms and the molecules and the energy and all of that. Like that's makes up all of everything you see as well. And so as an X-Men, you have access to that. And so you have, I'm calling you an X-Men. Sorry, or not sorry. You may or may not be, whatever. Know what you know. If it's light for you, then just play with it, But as an X-Men, we have a hack available to us with everything. And that is our energetic capacities, our energetic fluency, our energetic awareness, and the fact that we have the availability to us to function as energetic beings in a really different way than other people who don't have those capacities. And it is literally a hack to this reality. It's a hack to everything that we think is real and true. That's actually everything is the opposite of what it appears to be. And one of the things that we do is we take all of that. It's like your energetic brilliance, like a way of navigating this reality that is true for you, which is going to give you the greatest elegance with creation, the greatest ease, joy, and glory with creation. It's going to allow money to actualize in your life in very different ways than it does for other people. And we take all of that and we just make it so wrong. And this is the real rub, I would say. We make it so wrong because it doesn't fit. And this has been coming up for me more and more and more all the time, especially as I've been doing these money workbook classes and exploring that for myself. Is like, because these books are about how to become money, like literally just become the energy of receiving and recognize money as energy. And when you are willing to receive everything, money's included in that. It's just ease. You don't have to do anything. You have the miraculousness of money coming into your world. And to me, there's no other conversation about money that makes more sense than this one. And I'm finally starting to claim, own, and acknowledge that for myself and invite, anybody else to that may want to explore what that is for them. And that's a lot of what this call series is going to be about is, and the amazing thing with the X-Men conversation is that everywhere that you've made yourself wrong, that's an entry point into the capacities that you have, the strength that you have, the energetic wherewithal that you have to create and actualize totally beyond this reality, and including money from a miraculousness and a magic, not from the linearity of it. And so as you step into more of the creature that you are, the energetic creature that you are, and you're willing to actually let go of the structure and the form and the lies and limitations of this reality and live as the energetic creature that you be, you give yourself access to those capacities that you have for the actualization of money totally beyond this reality from that magic and miraculousness. And again, the key to that, like the entry point, is actually the things that you think are wrong about you. Which, the good news is X-Men, you could probably provide yourself with a whole list of all the things that are wrong with you when it comes to money, and for me, it's always been like, I don't get it. Like money for me, it's like money should just be everywhere. Like, I'm like, why? Like lack doesn't make sense to me. But I've done it. I've been able to do it dynamically because I have an awareness, which is part of my strength as an X-Men. I have a very dynamic awareness of everything, literally everything, and everybody else's realities. And so I can like understand, all of that in a way. Like I get the nuance, the energetic nuances of how everybody else functions with money. And I can mimic that, because I have a dynamic energetic capacity. I can mimic that. And that's a lot of what I've been undoing for myself over the past 12 years, but also the past 2 months and playing with these money workbooks is like, that's not mine. 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 And then these classes that I've just done and facilitated, like just all the stuff that I'm doing, all the play that I'm having with all of this. And as it's showing up more and more, I'm like, wow, this is actually like, I'm unearthing this treasure trove of energies and awareness and capacities and miraculousness and magic that is what I be, and this is really one of the incredible things about the X-Men conversation is that it allows you to do that. Like you look and you go, oh, this is what I think is wrong. Let's flip that. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, that's actually my greatest strength and capacity, So if you've done a lot of wrongness with you about money, if you've done a lot of like, I don't get it, I can't create it, I don't have like, I'm not able to have the money that I know that I could have, or just even like, I'd really like to have more, then perhaps within all of that stuff that you think is the wrongness of you is actually your brilliance and your strength and your capacity to open up to so much more and so much greater, and to unlock the miraculousness that is actually available to you as the difference that you be when it comes to money and finance and the creation of wealth. And as I've been exploring this with me, I'm like, wow, like I'm just seeing where I've like hooked myself into other people's financial realities and been like, oh, well, I guess I need to like accommodate this, or I guess I need to like somehow try to understand this. Now, here's the thing. Anytime you try to understand something, anytime you try to understand somebody else's reality, you have to stand under it, literally mimic it. And as X-Men, we have a real capacity to do this. We have this like chameleon capacity, which is a capacity, but it's actually, we use it against ourselves. So we like chameleon it, somebody else's limitation, somebody else's limited financial reality. We stand under it. We're like, oh, I get the awareness of all of the energies of that. I can just be that, to understand it. But understanding is not required. Understanding is such a limitation, and it's such a, we have to, like, we really mess ourselves up when we try to understand other people's realities because they're not relevant to us. Nobody's reality is really relevant to you. And well, I mean, you can decide if that's true for you, but I'll speak for myself. Nobody's reality is relevant to me. And my reality, my capacities are very relevant to me. And I'm more and more and more getting very clear on that. Like, I'm not interested in other people's bullshit, lies, limitations, stories around money, around lack, around there won't be money in the future, around, you have to whatever. I'm like, okay, that's a story. That's boring to me. What's true for me is creation, actualization, magic, miraculousness, and not as like a fun thing to entertain, but actually as a reality, And so, and when you begin to explore that and you really commit to that as the adult of consciousness that you can be, like literally, like, I'm here to create a different reality. And I'm going to gift that to myself, even if nobody else comes with me. And that's been a lot of what I've been stepping into lately is like, no, I know what I'm doing and I'm doing it. And nobody's going to stop me and nobody's going to distract me. I'm going, and I'm starting to look into all these places of like, wow, I made myself wrong with money here. I made this, even like financial situations that you might have. If you make them wrong, you can't receive the gift that they could be. Everything can be a gift. Literally everything can be a gift. It's your point of view that creates the problem. It's your resistance and your point of view about how things are supposed to be that keeps you from receiving the gift of how things are. And X-Men have a real capacity to see things from a different point of view when you're not being everybody else. You're aware of everybody else. You don't have to be everybody else. You can be aware of them and be like, oh, that's all interesting. And I know what I'm up to. So we are going to be exploring this very dynamically in a 3-part Zoom series starting December 1st, going through the 12th. So it'll go over, I don't know, every 5 days we have a call-ish. We are going to it's going to be on Zoom, so it's interactive, so I actually want to really hear from people and, what you're looking at. And because one thing that somebody brings up, we can open up a universe for other people as well. And like really extrapolate with each other on all these areas that you've decided are wrongness, that if you go into those and you explore from curiosity what that actually is, you just may find your capacities for financial magic and miraculousness there. You may find them there. That's not a like, hey, you're going to find the keys to the, I don't promise anything. But what I am interested in is having conversations and creating spaces where people get to access the truth of them, no matter what. And to me, that's really the only thing that I'm interested in at this point is creating a world where we all know what is true for each one of us, which is different. It's going to be different. What's true for me is going to be different than what's true for you. And it all can contribute to each other. So we have this X-Men and Money call. It's starting December 1st. There's a whole bunch of other amazing things coming up as well. I'm going to be doing a series on engaging the elementals, which is really part of this. That actually starts the day that the X-Men calls end. That's a daily Facebook Live series for, I don't know how many days, 12 or something. Really playing energetically with engaging the elementals, which is basically magic and miraculousness, energetic exercises and energy pulls. And then at the end of the month, my famous 5 days of creation, which I've done every year. I skipped it last year, but I've done it almost every year for 8 or 9 years. Between Christmas and New Year's, it's 5 Zoom calls, 5 days in a row on the creation of living, which is a lot of, just like the pleasure and the beauty of creation in different areas of life and hedonistic living. So, all of that's on my website, heathernichols.com, on the events section. Actually kicking off the new year with a 3-day body class at the Castello di Castelborgone in Italy, which is going to be really amazing too. So lots of fun, cool stuff coming up. You are invited to all of it, some of it, whatever. You're invited to all of it. You can come to whatever you want to come to or not. But really, truly, what if everything that you think is the most wrong about you and your life is where you have access to the miraculousness of you, the magic of you, and your capacities to generate beyond this reality, create and actualize beyond this reality, a completely different financial reality and otherwise. And what if that's really the only way that you know how to create the money that you would like to have is through the access point called you, not what everybody else says and how everybody else does it, but you. That's the world I would like to live in. So let's do it. Thanks everybody for being here. I hope to see you somewhere in the world sometime soon.